Hey everyone, I'm Heroic Coffee, and you're probably sitting down and are about to start making your first ever D&D character. You're excited, maybe a little nervous, but you take a look at the character sheet and all you see are random stat blocks, numbers, boxes. You have no idea what any of this means, and that's fine, because that's what this video is for. Today I'm going to be going through everything you need to know to make your very own character for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. But before you get started, there's a few steps you're going to want to take first. The first thing you're going to want to do before you even start thinking about making a character is check with your DM first. They might have some restrictions or some house rules that have an impact on what you can and can't make. For example, let's say you want to make a tiefling, but that just doesn't quite fit the angelic style world your DM has prepared. Or maybe you want to play an elf, but the DM has decided that you're all going to be playing in a low magic setting, and the elves are considered extremely rare in that world. Let's say the DM is dead set on you all being dwarves because he has this epic main quest planned out where you all try and reclaim your homeland from a mighty dragon, and one of you decides to show up playing a hobbit. Actually, that could work. Let me write that down. Even if your dungeon master says there are no restrictions, you might still want to consider talking to them about your character. Since this is your first character, it's probably safe to assume that they might know a little bit more about the game's rules and how things work. Personally, I love it when my players come and approach me about their characters. I find it super fun, and I try and help any way I can. But my next point will be putting pen to paper and generating your character's ability scores. Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Now there's a few different ways you can do this, and in this video we'll be going over all of them, but you want to go ahead and ask your DM beforehand which method they'd prefer everyone to use. Let's talk about the different ways you can generate these ability scores. First off, we have the standard array, which is 6 predetermined ability scores for you to just slot into each different slot. These scores have been cherry-picked by people way smarter than me, and they can be found in the player's handbook. All you need to do is put them where you want them to go, and boom, you've got a well-rounded character. Next up, we have the point buy system, and it's exactly what it sounds like. You have a pool of points, and you can put these points into whatever stat you want. Want your strength to be 16 instead of 15, you can do that. Just shave off a point somewhere else. It's a really good middle ground, and I'm a big fan of the point buy system. It's an equal playing field for all. Now, the traditional way and the crazy way is, you guessed it, roll for it. Rolling for your character stats can be a lot of fun, especially if you're all sat around a table and are doing it together. I have made some broken characters using this method. Also made some pretty mediocre characters using this method too. And that's what happens when Lady Luck is involved. For those of you wanting to do this, simply roll 4 6-sided dice and subtract the lowest roll. Do that 6 times and you've got your 6 ability scores right there. Once you've got your stats for your character, you're then going to want to start picturing what type of character you'd like to play. It's worth noting that while some D&D adventures are short and sweet, only lasting a session or two, some can go on for months, even years, if that's something that you're interested in. And if it is, you're going to be want to play a character that you can really resonate with. You could be super strong, super fast, rely on your wit rather than force. You can cast spells from a spell book, or cast spells from the innate magic that flows through you. If you're struggling with this step, by all means look at sources of inspiration. Your favorite films, books, comic books. There's an ocean of things out there to get inspired by. Try not to get discouraged either if maybe you rolled a few bad rolls during character creation. In fact, use this to your advantage. A great character is not only defined by what they're great at, but also, and I would argue maybe even more so, by their flaws. In my opinion, it's important for a character to have some flaws. Therefore, they can not only stand out, but they can grow and change throughout the course of a campaign. Your choice of race, class, and background are also going to heavily determine what your character can and can't do. And this is the next part of the process. Are you going to be a barbarian who just is in it for the thrill of the hunt, or are you going to be a noble paladin who fights for a greater cause after swearing an oath to his god? Maybe you like the idea of playing a trickster lurking in the shadows for the right time to strike. Next, we have to gear up. Do you want a sword, one-handed, or 2? Maybe you want to wield an axe, a mace. All this info is in the player's handbook, and every single class comes with a starter set of gear if you don't know what to choose. These include some all-around good choices for your starting gear, tailor-made for that class. And the last part is simply putting all this information down on a character sheet. This is what you'll be referring to for 95% of what your character can do, from the gear they have to the attacks they use. You can print them out for free on the Wizards of the Coast website. And there you go. I hope this video helped you make your first character in D&D. If it did, let me know by leaving me a comment. I'll read every single one. Don't forget to subscribe and also watch this video here on my top 3 tips to play D&D on a budget. Bye guys.